Hello and welcome back to Mac at the Movies. This week I'm going to be reviewing for you the film Duel, released by Universal Studios as part of the ABC Movie of the Week, November 13th, 1971, and directed by Steven Spielberg. This was based off an original short story by Richard Matheson. It was in the April edition of Playboy magazine in 1971. So I think it's kind of interesting that it was released as a short story in April and came out as a direct-to-TV movie in November. So it was a popular enough story, or at least caught the right eye, that it got put into production as Steven Spielberg's very first film, his first full-length film. Before that, he did some TV shows, various things, but smaller projects compared to this. This was the first thing that really allowed him to dip his toes into his very first feature film, other than something he made at home on his own. So this stars Dennis Weaver as David Mann and Carrie Lofton as the truck driver. Carrie Mann's the guy you see driving around, and the truck driver's the guy just making his life a living hell. This is basically a trucker stalking driver sort of film. The entire movie, similar to Joyride, much later on. A similar concept to Joyride, where it's a trucker stalking a driver, or driver and the passengers in Joyride's case. This is just the driver. But you follow the character of David as he's traveling to another city for a work-related meeting. One of those, this is important, I could lose my job meetings. And he stops to get gas before he hits that long stretch of highway. And while he's there, a trucker pulls up. Seems kind of like a menacing character. You don't really see the truck driver in the film. You basically see his arm and you see his feet. He's walking around the truck with his boots on, kicking the tires, making sure they're aired up properly. That was how you did it back in the day. You didn't use gauges, you used a boot. But David goes in, he makes a phone call to his wife just to kind of let him know what's going on. Then he goes back out to his car, finishes everything up, and then takes off. In the process, the trucker kind of starts stalking him. At one point in time, David ends up behind the trucker. He's trying to get around. He's like, I've got a meeting. This is important. I got to go. And this trucker's just kind of like, well, not too bad. If you're going to try and get around me, I'm just going to pull over and not let you. A huge series of that happening. And then the trucker finally says, you know what, I'll let you go. David goes to drive around, and a car's coming. So the entire movie from this point on is just the trucker giving David one hell of a time trying to make it to a meeting that he thinks will be a life or death scenario. If I lose my job, I'm going to lose everything. What will I do? But now you have this truck driver making things far worse than you losing your job. You could be losing your life and you don't even know it. The truck driver's just having a day with it. There are moments where David and the truck driver sort of interact, not directly. The driver's constantly stalking David to the point where David gets pushed off the road, or he loses control, and then he ends up going into a diner to try to wash up and regain his composure, get back out there. He sees the truck outside and doesn't know, is the truck driver somewhere outside? Is he in here? Is he one of these people that are in this diner? It's a diner full of truckers, so it could be one of these people. And it's just one misfortunate act after another at this diner until David leaves. At one point in time, David stops to help a school bus. Again, the truck driver's there being a menace, and David's doing what he can to save the school bus, but then things kind of make a turn. Not necessarily in David's favor, but it's interesting to say the least. Later on, David ends up at a roadside attraction, messing everything up, trying to run away from the truck driver. As the chase is happening, things just, all hell breaks loose. So it's an interesting story, like how terrifying something as realistic as just a Looney Tunes truck driver just having a day with making somebody's life a living hell. I really enjoyed this movie. Again, it was kind of like a much earlier version of Joyride, but made for TV, so no bare bottoms. It was a good film. I definitely think it kind of opens up that fear that you got from just the ordinary and mundane. Something like in later films, Jaws, you have people going to the beach and the fear that you don't know what's under the water and the shark comes. It's kind of like basically Jaws but on land. And instead of a giant shark, it's an 18-wheeler full of fuel. It's one of those giant tanker 18-wheelers. So all in all, great film. I definitely say check it out. I give it 3 out of 5 stars. If you've seen it, what did you think about it? Did you love it or did you hate it? Tell me what you thought about it. And I'm definitely looking forward to watching a whole lot of new films that I haven't seen yet this year, or that I haven't even seen before this year, like this one. I'm glad I stumbled upon this one. It was a year or so ago. This released on 4K, and I saw somebody had done an unboxing and they had got this movie. And I was like, I've never heard of this movie. I thought Jaws was Steven Spielberg's first film. So I think it's kind of neat that I was able to find this one out, and that you can kind of see how like one movie maybe inspired another. Because this, again, is very similar to that, can I go on the road? If I go on the road, is this trucker going to be there following me, harassing me? What's going to happen? So it's definitely a pretty neat film, and I say check it out if you haven't. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here, go find another movie to watch, and maybe it'll be a movie I review for you next week. So anyway, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.